Welcome back for the second part. The second part is based on vegetative propagation, and in this session we will actually understand what is the difference between asexual reproduction and vegetative propagation, why they are divided into two. Okay. If we see in asexual reproduction, there is the involvement of a single cell. Okay, that can be a spore, but that spore is a single cell. But if we see vegetative propagation, that is actually associated with its plant parts. Okay. If we see root, stem, leaves, they are plant parts. But asexual reproduction, that is associated with a single cell. That can be a spore, or that can be a plant organ. That can be a plant or an organism, but that is single cell. But this is associated with complete plant part. Okay. If we see vegetative propagation, that can be achieved by three methods. Okay. As we all know, the plants is bearing a root, a stem, and leaves. Okay. So vegetative propagation by root, that can be achieved in sweet potato, dahlia. Okay. Their roots are simply taken and planted in somewhere to produce a new organism. Okay. But if we see in the case of stem, stem can be of two types: subarial stem, underground modified stem. What do you mean by subarial stem and underground stem? Underground modified stems are those type of stems which are actually under the soil. Okay, they are modified form of stems which resides in the soil. But subarial stem, they are actually not reside in the soil. They actually reside just below the ground level, or they reside just above the ground level. Okay, they are not erect like the main plant. Okay, they are simply horizontal. Okay, if we see subarial stem, there are different types like runners, suckers, stolen, and offset. But if we see in underground modified stem, there are rhizome, tuber, bulb, corm. Okay, we will see the pictures in the later slides. Okay. And if we consider the leaves, then bryophyllum is the best one. Okay, bryophyllum, from its leaf, the buds are actually produced, and those buds will produce new plant. Okay, so these are the examples of vegetative propagation in plants. If you see, a runner is a stem portion. Okay, this one is actually based on the subarial part, subarial stem or subarial modified stem, which helps in vegetative propagation. Actually, if we see offset, runner, sucker, and stolen, all these fours are actually same. But if we actually compare them, there are a lot of differences. A runner is the stem portion of the plant that tends to grow horizontally as opposed to upright like the main stem. Okay. Main stem is like erected, but a runner is not erected. It's simply horizontal. The end of the runner can produce buds. Those buds will develop new plants that are clones. Okay. There is not mixing of DNA. There is no crossover. Okay, they are simply the formation of clones. Okay, so new characters will never produce. In stolons, there are also stems which grow at the soil surface or just below the ground that form adventitious roots at the nodes. Okay, and new plants from the buds. In sucker, there is a plant growth at the development from the root stock of the plant. Okay. If we see in the case of a banana, from the rootstock there is a new plant formation. Okay, a sucker does not originate from the seed, but instead it grows from the base of the root of the plant. Okay, if we see, a sucker is not actually produced in the from the seed. It actually produced from the plant itself. Okay, from the root system. The examples are like this. If we see runners in oxalis, sucker in banana, stolen in jasmine, and offset in Acornia. Acornia you can find in water bodies. Okay. If we see the pictures, they are like this. These pictures are taken from the Bureau book. Okay. You can see from serially a root tuber of sweet potato, then fasciculated roots in dahlia, then nodules or nodulous roots of mango ginger. Okay. If we see there is reproduction by leaves in case of bryophyllum, there are adventitious bud formation. If we see corm of vegetative propagation, corm for vegetative propagation, then the runner is also there, stolon is also there, sucker is there, then acornia is also there. Okay. If we see in case of this onion, okay, that is actually the bulb formation. You can see a clear picture in the next slide. This one is the formation of adventitious buds in case of bryophyllum. You can see mature rhizome here, ginger. Okay, this one is the case of ginger. In case of ginger, there is mature rhizome from which young rhizome is produced, and those young rhizome will give rise to new plants. Okay. If you see here, it is the case of a bulb, onion bulb, and this onion bulb will produce new plants like this. In case of potato, these potato eyes, they will also produce new plants. And in case of corm, of a colocasia, in case of colocasia, you can also see different type of plantlets will produce here. Okay, so these are basically the types of vegetative propagation in plants.